So, in today's episode, I have a huge announcement. I'm getting married.
Get a clue.
A Thinker's Podcast.
no, no, but that's really where it starts. And I think that's where this next guest has gained popularity. It's in the amazing photos that he takes for couples who are in love, who choose to celebrate love, whether it's pre-wedding photos, right?
Yes.
Or wedding days itself.
Yes.
We want to know all about
How you started?
D Metro Man or Ollie,
Yes.
how you built your brand, how you position yourself, and how you became who you are today. So tell us first, maybe, where did D Metro Man come from?
Yeah. So, well, the Metro Man is a spin-off from the Metro Photo brand talaga. So, the brand is Metro Photo. Then, since I founded it, I'm the owner, so they call me, oh, you're the Metro Man. So that's why that's where it came from. But so where did Metro Photo come from, right? So Metro Photo, when I was starting out photography, that was 16 years ago. Well, 17 years ago when I started. I didn't know what discipline I wanted to, but I attended this workshop of Dino Lara because I attended food photography, fashion photography, and then every discipline I attended, like a workshop for it. And then it's wedding photography where I realized, wait, this is something that I can do. Like this is probably the easiest for me to do, or this is probably where I will probably make the most money.
Yeah.
So I realized that and said, okay, and I guess there's something with how Dino Lara, he was the one, Dino Lara is kind of like my mentor in weddings. He's the one who kind of showed me that wedding photography or being a wedding photographer need not to be very expensive. It's really about just, capturing moments. It's that's more important than having the right equipment and everything. So I realized, okay, I'm going to do that. And then when I was starting out, I felt that okay, everyone uses their name, like the photographers, like Dino Lara Photography, those people who are popular, who are popular at that time. I mean, even now. So Lito C Photography, the popular wedding photographers, they use their names. And I say, and I thought to myself, oh, I need to be different, right? And also my name, like Ollie Ruiz Photography, is like so. I mean, for me, it's so unattractive.
No, and that's the thing, because people actually, you stick more, well, I guess that's my opinion, but you stick more, like when I think of you first, also I guess with social media, people actually remember you by your Instagram handle these days.
Yeah.
Yes.
So every time I
Correct.
think of you, before I was actually introduced to you, and before I had met you and seen you over and over,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is his name, he's the Metro Man. Like, I don't know him as anything else.
Yeah, because when Crystal told me, I want to invite the Metro Man himself.
I know.
Like, Cree, what's his name?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like there was a time that I really wanted to like just go like change it to my name, which is just Ollie. You know how Erwan's is like just Erwan, just Ollie.
With a verified check mark, blue.
Exactly. Like, and and there's no surname, just your first name. That's really cool, right?
Yeah.
But I guess I mean it was available that time, and I wanted to change it to Ollie. It wasn't available anymore, so I got stuck with D Metro Man, and I guess it's okay now. Of course I didn't like the letter D. Metro, it should be the Metro Man, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't available during that time. That was the only thing available. But it's there already. So like okay, I'm stuck with it. I'm gonna like just embrace that. So there. Like so I didn't want to use Ollie Ruiz Photography.
Yes,
I guess
yeah.
I guess it wouldn't stand out, right? I mean, I was working at a disadvantage right away, so I wanted to do something else. So, okay, I'm gonna think of another name. Like, I'm gonna use a more generic name or a studio name. So I was just driving around, and then I realized I saw Metro Salon. This is really the truth. Then I realized, oh my God, there is no, and Metro Salon is not even popular yet or during that time. I mean, there's just one or two branches. Like, okay, there is no Metro Photo yet. And then actually after 2 kilometers of driving, I saw Metro Bank. I said, oh, Metro Bank's not so cool, right? So like
Basically, if you're looking for a sign, this is it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then I realized, okay, Metro, I think Metro Photo sounds nice because it also like it probably implies being stylish, something modern.
Yeah.
So I think the photography that I want to do, the wedding photography that I wanted to do is that kind. So okay, I'm gonna do Metro
Parang
Photo.
more editorial.
Exactly. So
Yes.
like Metro Magazine, Metro Weddings, right? And then like really like cityscapes, something like that, very modern. So yeah, I think that will work. So we registered it right away, and I also got lucky because later on when you study branding, when you get a name that you can play around with, because we can always say what we can do in Metro Photos, like I can be the Metro Man, so that's a spin-off. You can also say
Yeah.
you're Metrofied. You can do so many things with that brand name,
Yeah.
and that kind of I didn't thought about that,
Yeah,
but it turned out that
exactly.
you can play around with it. So in a way, I was lucky. So that's kind of like how everything came up to be
That's
in terms of the
nice.
name.
Yeah.
Having been in the industry for that long, parang what was a moment or which client really catapulted you to where you are now?
Okay, that's a really good question. And I feel right now, since it's been how many years? 16 years. I guess 2018 when I got Colleen and Billy. Colleen Garcia and Billy
Okay.
Crawford. I think that was the
Yeah.
there were a lot of turning points. For me, I feel that Metro Photo was a gradual growth or a gradual progress ever since we started.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one, but I think if there is one more one growth or one uptick that's significant, it was that one. That was 2018 for good and not so good reasons. I don't know if you remember that it was a big online issue about what the shoot that we did in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So that was that. But for me, the fact that it was really done, we didn't do it on purpose. It was just really, I guess an
Yeah.
honest mistake. So I felt that, it was okay. And we learned from it. But at the same time, I guess we got, enough attention
Traction.
from that. And
Yeah.
and like, yeah.
And I mean, I think we all work in the industry of media in a way, marketing and media, PR. And when people say publicity, good publicity is still publicity, bad publicity is still
Still
publicity. A lot of times, and this is what we're really trying to do here, is really to open the conversation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think in the last couple of years, especially with the boom of social media, people have had to learn how to be that much more sensitive. But also, it takes people with a platform already to make those mistakes first.
Yes.
And then you don't intend to commit them. But exactly, it is a learning process and journey.
Exactly.
It is
I
a
think it's what
journey.
you do when that happens. Do you learn from it or you continue doing it, right? So I guess that will determine like, what will happen to you next, right? So I feel that,
Yeah.
it's how you respond to it, like how you change because of that.
Yeah. But that's amazing. I think, did you always know it was photography that you wanted to do though?
No, definitely not. So I was
Yeah.
and I'm not even an artistic person, like
Are you sure? Because I stalked you
Are
on
you
social media
sure?
before today, and I was like,
I think
was-
it's been in
yeah,
you
because
for...
I was trying to think of the chronological timeline, right? When we were talking about it, I was like, I'm not sure if the Metro Man came first or my Metro Photo came first, because we're from Cebu. You know what I mean? So like, of course, social media has made the world such a small place now. But when I was thinking of it, I was looking through your profile, really stalking you. I was like, Ollie paints also. So I was like, see, Ollie's always just been artistic. That's why I was like, the first question that came to my mind is, I wonder if you knew ever since that it's photography that you wanted to
yeah,
go.
definitely no. I'm like that was I was to be honest, I'm a technical person. I'm a very logical, analytical person. That's my thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that and I think I know this now that I can learn things and then I analyze them. How do you do certain things? I know that there are people that painting or whatever or like maybe music or photography. It comes to them naturally. Like they naturally like are good in painting right away. I mean, I kind of study it. I analyze. How do you how do you do this well? How do you do this fast? So it's kind of like that for me. But I guess I don't know how I get there, but I get there. But for me, it has to be studied.
Technical.
Yeah, technical.
Is
Yeah, I
it
need to
because you're
understand.
very passionate about it and you're very focused about what you're doing? That's why you're at this stage now where, parang you're very well known already and parang everyone thinks na there's always that assumption na, Ollie's very creative and
I guess that has stuck. I mean, the brand that later on we're going to discuss, like how we do things differently. I think that's where we really, let's say, pounded it. No, we wanted to make sure, or that's the branding. And also that's me personally. I wanted to do something different all the time. What would be worthwhile of my time and my client's time? No, we can do like a simple photo shoot. That's fine. But if we can do something different with the same resources, why not? Right?
Yeah.
If we can
Yes.
like level it up a bit, why not? So I think that's kind of like my mantra with my life as well, and that's what I do with my clients. And I guess that's the thing that has stuck because it has been a while. Like, I mean, when you say more than a decade, we've been doing that over and over again, then it will catch up to everyone. So I guess the hard work that we did, doing it over and over again consistently, somehow it has paid off. That some people know about it right now. Like they know us.
Yeah, because I think that's part people always talk about finding a niche market, your niche
Yeah.
client. Sometimes that niche does change, and I feel like in this case, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in this case, as you started to photograph more people, clients, that's when your style developed.
Yes.
But also for you personally, you've always had a distinct personal branding. And I think that's even becoming more distinct these days. Yeah.
It is.
And I see it more because I think everybody also sees the value of having a personal brand and linking that with, say, if you have a business brand. Because these days with social media, even if you have a business platform, people also follow the people behind the business.
Yes, for
Yes.
sure, yeah.
And that's you.
Yes.
You know, so as much as Metro Photo stands on its own, people are more so curious about the person behind it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah. So even in the way you dress, I know I following you on social media, your personal style even follows like what I would imagine as like when I think Metro Man,
Yes.
with your suits, you know, the lifestyle behind it. And for me, it's like, what came first? Is it chicken or the egg? Like, you know, did the brand come first and then you kind of morphed yourself into it? Or are you finding yourself more as your brand
Grew.
grew?
Yeah. But I think I am the brand. Though when you,
Yeah.
I think we have discussed this with with wedding photographers.
Yeah.
Like, we analyze how do the business of wedding photography really works, because it's really a personal brand. It's really a personal business. You know, everyone who start with wedding photography, especially if you create your own brand or your own business, it's you. You represent yourself, right?
Yeah.
The style, this is what I wanted to do, and I think when I started Metro Photo, that was me. When I say Metro struck me, the word Metro struck me. Because that's me, I felt. You know, they even teased me for that. You know, because I'm metrosexual, that's why I wanted Metro Photo. One didn't like come after the other. It's just really, you know, it's
Together.
it together. It is
Yeah.
together. And then later on, you kind of course, as you mature, as you grow, and as the business grew as well, you kind of polish it. You kind of make it more mature. So I guess right
Yeah.
now, it's still the same as before. It's just a more polished brand, I guess. And of course me, as I age as well, as I become a seasoned photographer, then I kind of become a little more, you know, I know more things. The maturity went with me and the brand as well. So I guess that's how it worked. Yeah.
But is it still a learning process for you even at this point? Are you still learning a lot
With like with
what you
aspect
do,
of it?
with the collaborations that you do with your clients?
To be honest, I think I have come to a point and that I feel that I remember like it's flowing already. It flows. So
Yeah.
when my clients come to me, okay, I already know like what you want to do, I came to a point where it's so enjoyable already that I feel like I just flow. I fly like, okay, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. Because for the longest time, maybe up until, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, or even 4 or 5 years ago, I still feel pressure that, okay, I might not be able to deliver this. Like, you know, her expectations are so high, then I'm so pressured. But it has really come to a point where, okay, you know, I don't have to worry about these things. I'm so sure that I can deliver it. It might sound so, I might sound so conceited or something, but it has really
You're
just
already
arrived there.
confident.
Yeah, I'm
No,
confident.
and I think, I mean, we discussed this prior to
Yeah.
this today also. Even for me, inspires me hearing that because I'm still in my early days of launching my creative career, where even in the last couple of months, I already feel the shift of when I first started, where I was so pressured to please client.
Yes.
And that's why when we talked about it, once you start to build a brand, you also start to attract the people. And so if a person chooses to hire you, that means they already know what they're getting into, or they should at least, right?
Yes.
But there's always that expectation of how to manage what your clients want, especially with something so personal like, say, a wedding or a debut or an event, versus what
Your
you as an
creativity,
artist and
yeah.
a creative
One
want.
as well, yes, right?
And
Exactly.
that's like my biggest struggle because exactly, sometimes also it's like, hi, can you let me do my job, please? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you balance? And I guess you answered it. You just take the reins and you're confident about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with being confident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why right now it's more of me expanding the brand or whatever we do in different ways already. It's not just wedding photography, we're going to focus because I think we have really reached a point where that one is very synergized. You know, everything we do there is okay. Any additional resources for that for me will just be a waste. So if we have excess resources, let's do it in another segment, or like let's make the brand even more attractive. That even if you get married, wow, this is even a better brand right now. So you know, that will still benefit the clients, right? Because right now you're offering so many things. So that's where we are right now. But I want to add to what you said. Like, it was about client management or expectation management of the client. And I've done before when I was starting out. I always do. What do you call that? I always do workshops for photography, and that's one of the things I always like tell them that's important. Expectation management, because sometimes, especially when you're new, you wanna like give everything to the client, and in the end, right? If you don't deliver, so it's always. Well, Diolan actually told me that. It's always under promise and over deliver.
Yes.
So always do that. So it's expectation management, right? But of course, I mean, you cannot say that you're not going to deliver certain things. But with like the many years I've been doing it, I already know like what the clients want, and then how will I promise something to them. Like, even when in shoots, I never tell them, wow, your shoot is amazing, you will have the best pictures. I never say that.
Yeah.
Even though the pictures are like that.
Because then that's false.
You're always
advertising.
impartial.
But not
somehow.
actually false advertising, because that's true, but exactly, you're managing the expectations.
Yeah, you're like, I mean, so they're expecting that already, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, when they come to you, they say, Ollie, I want to do something that has never been done before. I want to have the best pictures. I mean, okay, relax ka lang.
Define best.
Okay, relax ka lang. Like, okay, we can do this. This is how you explain everything to them. You know, not everything happens like automatically, right? So you have to work for it. But I guess it helps, and this is also to what you said. If they know the brand, they know that you know what they're getting into or what they paying for. That's
correct.
like probably that's 80% of the hard work already.
For sure.
Has there ever been a point where you had to decline a client because what you both
what I was
want
thinking
do
of,
not match?
That's a good question, but no. I think with Metro Photo, especially with what we have right now, my style is for me, it's super elegant, but at the same time, it's elevated.
Edgy. Yeah.
It's so easy to just remove the edgy part of it and give them something super elegant. And you know, that's for everyone. So if someone said, okay, I don't want to climb up there, Ollie, or I don't want to do these certain things that are very, what do you call that, that cost so much resources or cost so much money, it's okay. We can do something that's simple, but it's still going to be super nice. So I don't have to decline anyone.
No, exactly, because I was thinking like putting myself in the role of, hey, what if I was client?
Yeah.
So I come to you and I'm like, hey, Ollie, so excited for we call it prenup shoots here, right?
Yeah, prenup.
Yeah. So I'm so excited for my prenup shoot. This is what I want. And like, you're known for your climbing photos and all of that, but how much of that process are you a part of in terms of like, okay, yes, you take the photo for sure, but how about things like location, styling? Because I think that all still plays a really big part.
For sure,
Yes, because I mean, you can climb up that ladder, but if your
What you're
styling is not
wearing,
nice,
and your location,
so how much of that process are you involved in?
I think before when I was like not really here yet, I guess there will definitely be shoots where you don't have budget for styling, you don't have budget for a good location. So I'm also used to that. So we will adjust, right? So what's the best possible photo, given that this is only what you're wearing, and then we don't have a nice place to shoot at. So I think I'm used to that.
Okay.
Now, with more resources, then it can only be better. But that's the thing. I need to tell you as my client, okay, Chriselle, we're not spending for clothes, right? I mean, you didn't want to spend for that. So photos are still going to be great, but let's not expect it to be like someone was styled it. So that's kind of like what I tell them, and then definitely still going to be be So I think now we're on the same page, right?
Yes.
So it's kind of like that, I guess.
It's really just managing
Expectations.
expectations.
So I'm like, I think it's also part of me being. I don't want to be seen as a person na parang who promised you something and I didn't give it to you. I want people to always be happy about me. I guess that's the reason why Metro Photo is so good, because at the end of the day, that's our actually tagline. We are not a wedding photography company. We are a customer service company that happens to take good pictures.
Oh,
So it's
amazing. I
always
love that.
customer service for us, and then the pictures they come in after.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the secret why we're still here after so many years. It's hard to stay. It's hard to be good like consistently to stay here for like more than a decade, like one of the top photographers. So that's hard, but that's kind of how we do it. It's not really the pictures; it's the experience.
Yeah.
No, because I think also it's been in the past couple of years, because of the rise of social media, that people have become more, in quotation, extra with their photos, and it's like constantly wanting to one up the next concept.
Exactly.
Because we see it on our feeds, right? Like our favorite influencers, our favorite celebrities. Does that make you feel any pressure, or has that contributed to, you think, like the rise of wedding and pre-wedding photography also? Because not just in photography, huh? Like I have a sister who's planning a wedding now. So a friend who's planning a wedding, I think I'm in the age also of a lot of the people around me planning weddings. And when I talk to my parents, they're so shocked because they were just like, weddings were not like this before.
Yes.
It's only in the last couple of years where it's like you really have chosen suppliers, like you really want to go the extra mile for this show. So does social media contribute to it, or what is it? Like, are we just extra in love?
No.
No, it's really
You're
so,
like, no.
Definitely.
no.
I mean, we cannot be extra in love right now. I mean, I don't think people have evolved like that fast, right? So
We just want to capture our love that much more. So
Yeah.
what is the capturing? Like, what is it? Do you think it's a show, or do you think it's like a capturing the memory, or like, la la?
It's because of the age where we are now, where we have, well, a lot of us need validation through what we do on socials.
Yeah. But what if I just really want a nice picture?
that's true.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's
Because
also
like
true.
me,
Yeah.
I'm not on socials,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But I love good photos. Like I did the
Yeah.
prenup also and everything else.
Yes,
So
like,
it's
how about-
really,
what's the difference in your time? Like when you, of course, that's still
I didn't post
existed.
anything.
Yes, but you
I
had a
just
prenup for
wanted to
yourself
look at my
also.
photos.
Yeah.
I
It's
think-
really
I think
what you
that's
want.
That's
Yeah.
a very valid thing to discuss. Like for example, you really don't want to be really want to show off. It's
Mhm.
more of if everyone's doing a prenup. I don't want to be left
Is it
behind,
FOMO?
right? I mean,
Yeah, it's like FOMO, like the
it's
fear of
FOMO, right?
missing
I mean,
out.
it's not really
Yeah.
get so. But the thing is, I guess some people don't want to get left behind. So I'm just gonna do the same level as everyone does. But there will be people who, okay, I'm gonna one up it a little bit, just a little bit, and then since
Yeah.
everyone's one upping everyone,
Yeah.
even just by a little bit, then everything kind of like grows, right?
Yeah.
I think that's how that's not just photography, but you're right. The
Everything
entire
else.
wedding, like how wedding styling in the receptions are being done.
Yeah.
The wedding gowns, everything. So I think. There's so many different services right now with weddings, with wedding photography. Now we have like, there's a content creator for weddings now, right? You
Yes.
go there and there are like film photography for weddings. There's so many things that, that people come up with. The reason why these things happen is because there is a market. People want it. If people
Yeah.
are not, patronizing that, then, these new things won't come up,
That's
right?
true.
So,
Yeah,
that's really-
actually,
That's true.
there's my family would always say, like, with the different industries and businesses that you're in, there's some things that will never change. People will always die. That's why we're in the funeral industry, my family. But also, second, people will always celebrate. So whether it's
That's true.
a birthday, and that's why you do debuts as well, right? Because I remember when I turned 18, especially in the Philippines, I had a debut shoot. Like I put on my angel wings and pretended I was a Victoria's Secret model. Back then, there was no social media as much as it is today to really show. But when I took the photos, I did it to
For
feel
yourself.
empowered in myself. And I see the value in that now because for so long also, there was that stigma of like, if I post, it's because I want validation. But when a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, Vito and my sister Holly, in a very rough time of my life, surprised me with a birthday photo shoot. They blindfolded me, in a studio in Cebu, brought me clothes, put me in front of the camera. And for me, that really changed how I felt about myself. Because in that time of being in front of the camera, I was so used to being behind the
I
camera.
see. Yeah.
And very weird, but that really changed my perspective of everything because I realized, hey, this is actually a good feeling of being in the spotlight for once. And is it a bad thing if I want to be in the spotlight? And so that's kind of why now also with Clou, for example, I push with social media, like, it's not always the enemy
For sure. Yeah.
because you can post just to feel good about yourself if
Exactly.
it
True.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it will always be better for you to just be there than not be there.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there are definitely so many ways to post that, I guess some people just really overdo it. So,
Yeah.
they get, but I mean, but for most part, if you do it just, in the right way, then it's really perfect. It benefits everyone, benefits the viewers, benefits you, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing bad with it, it contributes to everyone.
It's so interesting because ever since, like, especially you have a little girl, they say it's always. Do you have a little girl too?
Yeah, but she's 8. Yeah, she's still my little
Yeah,
girl.
but
Oh, our
she's
girls
still a
are the same
girl.
age.
Oh, wow, yes.
Yeah, but it's like we grow up bombarded with so much media of like dreaming to be, or not even dreaming to be a bride, dreaming to fall in love,
Yes.
but dreaming to have a wedding more so, right? That's why I was joking around earlier. I was like, whoever the groom is, I just want to book Ollie already. So just fill the groom in. My suppliers are already in check.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
She's prenup ready.
Yes, oh my.
No, but that's my question also because, yeah, I think it's never going to go away maybe for every little girl to dream
Exactly.
of falling in love and having that. But now it's just interesting how part of that dream is having a certain person to, it's always been there, like design your gown, right? Or a certain person to take your photos.
Exactly.
How does that make you feel when people aspire to have you be part of their special day?
Like, for example, eventually you say, okay, Ollie, we're going to shoot. I'm getting married. So, okay, it's Christelle's time. So, oh my God. I mean, that's pressure for me, right? If you always wanted to be shot by me and then the time comes, I think that's where I feel the pressure. And then that's why I need to organize everything. Like, okay, let's set your expectation.
Yeah.
Once you're okay, then I'll be okay, right? So
Mhm.
at first, I need to like make sure that, you're taken care of expectation-wise. Because the last thing I want to do is like disappoint you.
Yeah.
That's what I said earlier, right? We want everyone to be happy. So I need to control that. I'm a control freak, so I need to control people's expectations. So once we're there, then
Is
I'm
that the
okay.
logical side of you that you're saying? earlier
Yes,
that comes
definitely,
out?
definitely. That's exactly it. So I want
Yeah.
everything. I want to control everything as much as possible. So
Like, how do you control?
Yeah,
I'm
expectation
very
setting,
curious.
expectation
I mean,
setting.
Just that.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
Because in terms of events in itself, you can't control events.
No.
Like something will always come up. Or like weather permitting when you have a shoot, for example, you use that to your advantage, I see.
Yeah, so I mean, experience
If it
has
rains,
taught
it
me to
rains.
control it. So
Yeah.
even if it rains now, unexpectedly, because I've dealt with so many situations like that, I know what to do. So I know we can still shoot. So don't worry. So if those things I can really manage. Yeah.
Just be stressed about things that you cannot control. Don't be stressed about what you can
Exactly.
control.
I think that's why I miss that. I
Yeah.
feel that zone where I know nothing bad will happen because I think I've seen all the possible scenarios already. So I mean, even if it's something that is new, it's not going to be super new anymore. That I can handle it. I guess that's the reason also because I've done thousands of weddings already, thousands of
Yeah.
shoots. So that's where the confidence come in. I guess.
So I guess
it's
it
wisdom.
does
It's
come
wisdom. Yeah.
with experience.
Experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, no matter how good you are, I think that no matter how good
Correct.
a photographer is, no matter how much he cares for that wedding,
Yeah.
if something comes in that you cannot really do anything, then only experience can really help you. And I guess that's where we are now.
So I bet you hear a lot of, not even just hear, you witness so many of these celebrations, moments, stories unfold. Do you have a favorite, top of mind love story or like a moment in one of your, say, events or weddings that really, basically, do you feel the genuineness of weddings and like the difference of different couples and dealing with different, can you tell
Yes,
basically like, oh,
definitely.
this couple's not gonna last?
I think I've never. No,
I might be
I think
controversial.
also.
We're in that topic now.
I think also with hundreds of couples that I've shot or thousands, I've thought about it. I've had instances where are these two going to
I'm
last?
not gonna sugarcoat it now.
But
Yeah, like-
eventually you will. I mean, because that's probably and after so many years, they're still together. So you realize that okay, most people will stay together. Right, I feel that like all of the couples that I've shot, at least those. I mean, I feel that. I mean, less than
Is
what?
there a
Less
lucky
than
charm
half a
also?
percent are probably.
Yeah.
I cannot even count to 10 those that really separated from
Yeah.
1,000. So it's not so bad at all, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I feel that all. To be honest, I feel that when I see a couple, their photo shoot is special, their love story is special, but everyone sticks together. You're going to be if you stick together, then you're going to be not the average, but the usual, the regular, right? Especially in that way, right?
Yeah.
That, I mean,
and I
overall,
guess especially in our country, maybe.
yeah, in our country, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess people like really just we have to stick together.
it out.
Yeah, stick
Stick
it out.
it out.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yes. So I guess if you ask me what's my favorite love story, I guess it's just going to be mine.
Yeah.
With me and my wife. So we've been together for 18 years already.
Wow.
So that's quite a while, and I feel that you do so many things during your wedding. You plan for it. You plan for like the best photo shoots,
Yeah,
the
like
best
did
setups.
you have your own photo shoot for your wedding? I'm
Yes,
sure.
but I wasn't a wedding photographer then.
Okay,
So yeah.
okay,
So
yeah.
but I mean, I guess we went through the same thing, right? That was.
Yeah.
But what happens afterwards is really what's important, right? How what do you call that? For me, kasi it's just really how what the word peaceful and relaxed it is, and how engaged you are together, like that's
How you
like smooth sailing, how you
compromise.
compromise. So
Give me
I guess
wedding
compatibility.
advice.
In the end, it was
Both of
it's
you.
compatibility
Yeah.
talaga. Like
Compatibility,
yeah.
communication,
Yeah.
compromise.
So if there will be couples that will be butting heads, and they're the difficult couples to shoot, I guess. But
How do you deal with that?
No, for sure, because it'll
Oh,
show.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, my face is so transparent. So if I'm unhappy, I'd literally be in the pictures like, like how do you?
I think that's a skill that I've learned also.
How?
Like you need to the bride is the star, right? I mean, let's admit it. That's the bride's star.
Yeah.
But you need to manage the groom as much as well, because the
Yeah.
groom, if he's in a bad mood already, he doesn't want to shoot, then
Yes.
everything's ruined, right? And if he feels that okay, parang I'm not, I don't belong here or something like that. So I need to make sure the bride needs attention, but the groom. The question is, how much attention does this groom need? Because there are grooms that doesn't need any attention. There are grooms that are also as bright as the
Diva.
bride. So you
For sure.
need to
I mean, I
take
think
care.
after 1,000,
You need to take care of them as well. So you
For
also
sure.
need to like take pictures. So I guess
Yeah.
I've learned that. I've learned the way to handle different types of personalities, different types of couples, and so at the end of the day, make sure that at the end of the day it will work out. So one way or the other. So yeah, it's kind of like it. So it's just really experience. I'm sure that when I was starting out, I've encountered problems with these types of scenarios before, but now it's no more. Like I know, we know what to do. So yeah.
I guess with everything, a personal brand or a business brand, it's always still in managing your relationships, whether it's like with the people you work with or
Yes.
especially with client, and it's never going to end. I was just talking to Mish about it earlier before we started. I was like, if anybody could have told me that running a business is not actually just about your service out there, but it's more so like managing the people, managing permits, everything around
Everything,
that, like, I was like, excuse me, why didn't anybody tell me this earlier? Do you like what you do? Do you love what you do?
Yes, I think I love photography. I love that I was good at I'm good at it. But I think ultimately for me, it's the satisfaction we give to the clients, no matter what we do. So I think that's the ultimate thing, right?
Yeah,
So
I guess.
yeah.
I mean, for me,
Yeah.
for you also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
think that's it,
we
no?
we
whatever
service
business,
them.
whatever
Yeah.
Yeah.
service you want to provide.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so I mean, if I know that I gave you like the best possible photo, and and I'm confident you could have not gotten that from anybody else.
Yeah.
So I know how happy you are, and then
Yeah.
that translates to me later on.
For
I mean,
sure.
afterwards. So that's where I get my
Yeah.
happiness.
And
so.
it's nice, like I see in your posts sometimes you'll run into, like, because now you're traveling everywhere for all of these photo shoots, right? And I see sometimes you'll run into a couple that you shot like 9 years ago,
Yes.
and seeing them together now with like kids.
Exactly, right?
I feel like for me that would feel really fulfilling to see like
I know,
that
right?
transfer.
You remember them, and then you talk a little bit about what happened. So it's just
Yeah.
really like it's so many of them right now. So it is fulfilling. I think that's the word. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, or do you have an idea of what's next for you? Like, do you want to stay in wedding photography, or do you want to explore anything?
How do you want to pivot?
Yeah.
I think. Oh, to be honest, I think that wedding photographers has an age limit. There's no particular number, but you outgrow your couples for sure. Couples need to be able to identify or relate to their photographer. You cannot be a super tito na. If super tito ka na,
How long
I mean,
do
I don't think
have?
it's going to. I think it's going to be different. Dapat medyo barkada ka pa like a friend.
Okay.
So I feel there will be a market, but it will shrink later on if you're a bit, like a tito na. So yeah, definitely I think it will come to a point where I would probably be very selective. Or I'm trying to be selective now, but I don't think I can yet because they're still there. So I guess
Yeah.
later on, but which is a
Yeah.
good thing, right? So okay, I can't be selective
I
yet.
mean,
So
that's
I
always
mean,
a question though. Like, can you say no to a client when it comes? Nah.
you kind of say no
Yeah.
with your pricing. So again, okay, I think we're booked over our goal this year, so let's increase the price next year. So
Okay.
then that's where you will see na para they still book that at the same number of volume. So I guess we're still okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
amazing.
We just talked about
Yeah,
that.
we were just exactly.
that's exactly what I said. What I
was
mean
my
when I
sign.
said
I was waiting for it.
that
Yeah.
I wanted to be selective now because I increased my prices, but they're not letting me be
People are
selective.
still coming.
They're still coming. So
Yeah, so
I-
you dictate the price pretty much.
Yeah,
Like, in a way.
In a way,
Yeah.
the demand dictates
Yes.
it to me. So
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
yeah, so
With marketing.
So I know
Yeah.
that I can still raise my prices, so which is good,
Yeah.
right? But I think also right now everyone's like because just after the pandemic, so everyone went back at it.
Yeah.
So
In full
And
force.
it's art. It's art. It's very hard to, and I think that's where a lot of, whether it's freelancers in our industry, other creatives struggle, is how you put a price to your art.
Yes.
Right?
For me, it is really demand. So
Yeah.
I mean, if no one gets you, you cannot really like what do you call, sulk and say, okay, no one's getting me, because if you're too pricey, right? So it means you have to look. It's like everyone who's starting. I think I know I'm just gonna say this. There's always a discussion about pricing in wedding photography.
Of
Like,
course.
okay, why are people like dropping their prices? So I mean, you're ruining the industry and everything. I think no one has the right to say that.
Yeah.
It's a capitalist market.
No, and is there such thing as like a photographers union? I don't know, like
And not
it's very
really.
hard
There is
to-
at least for wedding photographers, there is not a one
yeah, like
entity.
you can't
More of
exactly
just a group, like a Facebook group where
Like
people
that.
discuss that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your take on competition? Because I'm sure there's a lot now with all
Yeah.
these wedding.
Yeah, so you can only do what
Requirements.
you can control. So parang, we try to do our best. See, you analyze the competition. What are you? Where are you stronger? Where are you weaker? And then you kind of like strategize from there. So yun nga, we've been here for quite a while. There are so many studios that have come and gone, and we're still there. So I guess we have to just really make sure. Sabi ko, one of my favorite books that I read, or because I worked for Intel before, like I was an engineer.
Oh, see, little drops of little knowledge that we learn about.
Yeah. So I did that, and
Yeah.
one of the founders, Andrew Grove, he has a book. It's the title of the book is Only the Paranoid Survives. So you have to know where your competition, what are they doing, and what do you think they're going to do.
Yes.
And if you relax a little bit, then you give them an opening. So
Yeah.
even before I was a wedding photographer, I knew that idea before. So, but I'm a very competitive person as well. That's why I think I was able to identify with that concept. So that's kind of like how we do it right now. So we always see who's out there. We're always on the watch. And then we make sure, okay, what is this new guy doing? What is he doing new that we're probably not doing?
Yes.
We just
Okay,
had a
that
planning
makes
session
sense.
last week, and
Yeah.
one thing we discussed is how Instagram came up with Threads.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, you already have your market Instagram, right? So for example, maybe not Threads. Let's say IG Stories, because it was a Snapchat feature before, right?
Yes.
So okay, I'm IG. Everyone is going to Snapchat because they have the stories there, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it also with Instagram, right? I'm gonna
Yes.
keep my people here, and that's the thing, because they're there. They can strategize like that, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let my people. That's what we're doing also right now. Part of it. So okay. So what
Yeah.
are the new people doing? And we're Metro Photo already. Let's just also do that so that we offer it as well. They don't have to like try it there, and probably we can do it better because we
Yeah.
have all the resources to do it and the
Yeah.
experience. So that's one strategy that
Yeah.
we do. Yeah.
You have to keep updated also.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
So,
guess. And
yeah.
I mean, your content's out there, So in terms of like, that's always a creative thing, like, right? Like plagiarism, like you copy this, you copy that. But with creativity, I mean, what are you going to do? Hide your work? And that's also your
Exactly,
portfolio.
yeah.
And I noticed that I wanted to kind of bring this to light also because you're saying we. And I think also people forget that, yeah, like as much as D Metro Man, you built your name and your brand. Like it's also nice when I see you, and I've seen you in so many weddings in the last couple of months alone, but it's nice to also see that you are a team. Like, yes, you're a D Metro Man, but you're also only capable of being that because you have a team who supports you
For
and
sure,
who's
yes.
very alone creative also. So
Yes.
do you see that, because I know one of your team members is a Cebuana,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that I knew in Cebu growing up, but how do you also pick the right people, or if there is a such thing as right, and nurture them? Because a tendency, I guess, with freelancers is they also want to build their own brand. So how do you nurture that for them to build their own brand and also be a part of your family?
Yeah. Oh, those are trade secrets. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
But really,
yeah,
but
I want to know because I'm applying it to myself.
definitely, I can share that, but definitely there are. I've gone through like so many strategies. I've talked to a lot of
Yeah.
people, and I've observed different studios how they lose like
Yeah.
photographers also. So you kind of study that as well, hiring
Yeah.
people and keeping people, right? So I think with Metro Photo, the most important thing is when I get people, it's culture. It should be the same, which is
The
of course
value.
I love it because
Yes.
everything, one of our episodes always come full circle. Yeah.
So yeah,
Values.
definitely. So they have to buy into what we're doing, because being
Yeah.
good or being excellent, being the best is not easy. So
Yeah.
right. I mean, you're
Yeah.
not here to you think that you're going to travel, you think you're going to have fun, you're going to shoot like famous
No,
people, you're going to be.
Yes.
It's not that. No, it has to come with hard work first before you get to enjoy these things.
And paranoia.
Exactly, paranoia. Yeah, we have to
In
be.
this generation, we don't just call it paranoia.
What?
It's called the Delulu mindset. Have you heard of that?
No,
No.
what's that?
So
What's
Delulu.
that? Is that a Gen Z term?
Yes.
So
It's
you-
you got to keep up with social media, guys. Let me teach you, impart a little knowledge today. So Delulu is short for delusional, right? And so sometimes they say it's kind of like being confident. It's like fake it till you make it, but Gen Z lingo maybe. But with the Delulu mindset, it's kind of just like you believe it so much and you brainwash yourself to believe something that you're the best, that you actually become the best. So that's why they say sometimes you got to be not just paranoid about everything, but you got to be a little delusional in order to really be what you want to be sometimes.
But
Yeah.
really put in the work still.
But that's why you still
You
have to really
still have
put in
to
the work.
put
You
in
can't
the
just be like manifesting.
Yeah,
But you know how-
self-awareness
mani-
is always
Yeah.
about self-aware. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you can dream as much as you want, but you
Yeah.
also need to know like where you are. You know,
Yeah.
where you.
Because
where you
sometimes I
stand.
also think like this already comes from my own like company and where I am now. I'm like, how do I find someone like me? Like, how do I clone myself so that I could? Because I'm only one person, you know. So how do I clone my mindset? Because this is what I tell my team. Yeah, there's so many skilled people out there, but it's really the mindset, the culture, the commitment that I'm looking for. But how do I clone me so that I could really do more? You know?
Of course, yeah, I totally know what you mean. Yeah, exactly.
So like how? Because I want to know.
It's
Yeah.
who did I talk? I mean, I think I always talk to like people about this, like
Yeah.
initially about with hiring people because it's so hard. Because right now we have been expanding since
Yeah,
pandemic.
especially I mean you have because with event photography it's like you have a whole day booked like or weekends. So like what if you have a bride because there's the feng shui dates, right? So what if it's like 3 brides or 4 brides that
Yeah.
want
Exactly.
you on this day?
And
Yeah.
and other stuff
How do
like
you
who's
split
gonna do our
yourself?
like marketing
Yeah.
people, operations. We were hiring these people right now, and how do we get someone? But I always feel that someone as good as, for example, us, right? Sorry. So
That's the Delulu mindset
So,
right there.
if you want a certain quality,
Yeah.
someone as good as yourself, do you think you are common or do you think you are a one-off? So, if you think you are special, if you think I'm good, then how many people out there are similar to you? Probably very few. So, you need
Yeah.
to go through so many things. Probably you need to hire 20 people before you get to someone that's at least similar to you, right?
Yeah.
Because if you hire the next person and it's you right away, then maybe you're not so special, right? Everyone else is just like you. So it's like that. You have I think I have come to accept that if I because we've gone through 5 marketing managers already and no one's kind of like up to it. But we do the hiring process, everything. But at the end of the day, you realize, okay, because you're looking for someone special, right? Someone special is probably in a big company right now. I mean, your chances of getting it is really slim. You have to accept that.
Man, that just
So-
makes me think of falling in love again. Is that how?
Love again.
I mean, I guess as we're wrapping up this episode, that's what this is about, right? And I guess you have to kind of interview a lot of potential suitors until you find. the
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly how it is, right? I mean, like di ba how they say with business, only 10% of businesses like succeed, right? And those of the 10% that succeed, only 10% of that will actually make it to 5 years. So it's similar to like I guess hiring people. No?
Yeah,
There's only so few people who are skilled enough to do it. So you kind of compromise sometimes. Okay, I'm just going to need this particular skill set because I cannot find a person with everything that everything is there, right? So it's kind of like what we do. So I think that's the opposite of being delusional in terms of hiring. You have to accept that this is the only thing possible.
Yes,
Because you know,
yes.
right?
Okay.
And
Don't
then you
expect
work,
too much
yeah,
out of
then
that
you, Then you work
person.
from there.
Yeah.
You work from there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to adjust as the employer or the boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ang swerte talaga if we can get someone who's like us. We double ourselves, right? Wow, sobrang swerte. But
No.
it's
Super
like
swerte, yeah.
impossible, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but through that area I got Aaron, like all my mains, like
Yeah.
even, I mean, Ray is kind of like one of my best hires. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I'm a genius because of it.
So
Because of
Ray
that.
is from Cebu. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
she's
she's a Cebuana.
she's really like one of my like best hires, I guess.
Yeah.
So I found her. I saw her. I know because talent is one thing. She's super good in photography, but like yun nga, mindset and then work ethic, that's another thing. But if you get them together, yun minsan may mga mas rare yun. So I was able to get that from Ray, and then that has worked out. Minala siya because pandemic, it was pandemic when we launched her. But she got very good traction even now. Right now she's just on hiatus because she's pregnant. But everyone wants to book her even now. Like, okay, sorry, Ray's not available because she's taking a break. But that's kind of like how successful her addition has been. So that was good.
That's amazing. And I mean, my team is here, so don't get me wrong, you guys are great, but it's always true. Like, I think in everything it does take time.
And
you
every
have to
Ray,
go through
there are probably
process.
20 other non-Rays that I got
True.
right before I got to
Yeah.
her. So it's not that. Sometimes you're lucky.
Yeah.
You have to be patient and just keep
Is this about work
looking
or my
and
personal
digging.
life? Yeah.
Sometimes they're the same.
All-encompassing.
Yeah, I think sometimes they're the same. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's so nice. And I guess as we wrap up, one of the questions we always like to ask to our guest is, in all that we do, I guess we don't work so hard for no reason, like we want to leave something behind. And that's, I think, why in general humans work towards their purpose and legacy. How do you want to be remembered, D Metro Man?
Yeah, I think you can only, for me, you can only do so much, right? I mean, no matter how I stretch myself and whoever it is, like there will always be someone who will have a better legacy than you will have, right? So I feel I don't want to put that pressure on me. I just want to do the best I can with what I have right now. But at the same time, I feel that my why really are my kids. So I want to make sure that they're my legacy. So I want to make sure that as long as they think that I have done everything for them, then I'm okay with that. With Metro Photo, right now I'm okay where it is. If it goes bigger, then it's fine. But if it doesn't, then it's okay, right? So that's kind of like where I am now. I think I've come to an age or to a point where I already accepted that, na parang I don't want to do so many things or like invest so many times on things that may or may not take me to another level. I want to enjoy this next decades of my life, like to the fullest. So it's more of that. So what would make me have the most quality in this coming year? So that's kind of like my goal right now. So yeah, I think I'm kind of like done with like working hard and working smart right now.
Working smart.
I love that. We talked about that in a previous episode. How many
you
kids
work
do you
to
have?
live.
Exactly.
Live
Yeah.
to
So
work,
yeah, I've already done that part. I'm trying to enjoy
Live to
everything
work.
that
Yes,
all the
you're
hard
done
work
with
I
the
did.
live to work part.
Yeah, exactly. I've done the hard work and I have been lucky. So let's try to reap those rewards now.
Yeah. Wait, how many kids do you have?
I have 3. So they're
I was
pretty.
gonna
They're pretty.
say.
Yeah. So I have an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old,
you have an
and
18-year-old.
my youngest is that's my youngest 8-year-old.
Are you giving her
your
a
baby.
pre-debut photo shoot? Does she want?
No,
I always wonder that also with. It's true. Like how they like celebrity kids, for example. They, like, of course, they don't. They think of their parents as parents. They're not anything else. Like,
for sure.
Do your kids know the weight of how like
Famous
you're
their
Ollie,
dad is?
You're like Demetro Man.
I don't. Well, I think.
But they know what. I mean, obviously they know what you do.
Especially I think now with turning to adults, some of them they
Yeah.
kind of a little bit they realize that, but at home we don't kind of like really talk about it. I guess when someone like approaches me for pictures every now and then, they say they kind of like this. We're all, even me, I'm still surprised that people do that. So I guess we all enjoy it when that thing happened. Yeah, but my son is into film right now.
Oh,
Wow.
So
amazing.
somehow that's nice that he.
Because I was gonna ask if any of them were interested in like photography or anything.
Yeah.
So
I
he's
mean,
into film.
I didn't think that, but it naturally, he wanted that. I didn't like tell him. I wanted him to like be in that field. So I think what he's doing with film is good, and I'm helping. I'm able to help him right now because of my background, right?
Exactly.
So I know a lot of. Well, I'm not a videographer, but I have videographer friends. Like I asked him for him. Yeah. So
and that's so nice to have, and because I think for me mentorship is so important, and I think
for sure,
the
definitely.
reason why I am where I am today and continue on this path is because I have been so blessed with having so many mentors. And each one of these episodes, I always consider our guest here as my mentors also, because
so
I'm
true.
learning so
Yeah,
much,
that's true.
especially being next to Mish and having, like, I feel that much more secure in myself because I don't think anybody really knows what they're doing. And I think even as adults, we're all just figuring it out.
Yes.
Not that I'm an adult. But yeah, it's nice.
It's a constant.
Yeah, but to have people
cycle
in this industry, and that's why we wanted to start a space like this. Sure, it was for other people to hear the conversations, but for me, this is for myself.
I mean, just to add to that, I think I didn't say that. I think for me, I didn't have a mentor. I really didn't have a mentor like doing this. So,
But I guess that's first photography.
Sorry?
The first photographer you mentioned.
Dino.
Dino, yeah, for a bit, no, but
Okay.
he didn't really like constantly mentor me.
Yeah.
He was kind of like my model, but I didn't like. We didn't really like mentor. I feel
Okay.
that that's the most important thing because I would have. I don't know. I definitely would have been faster. I wouldn't have to reinvent the wheel if if I had a mentor. I don't know. Also, if kind of having a mentor, maybe the right mentor will let you do what you want still, no, but guide you, right? Because where I learned that because when I started to do painting. I had a mentor I had a painter mentor.
Okay.
That made me like really like learn to paint so proficient so fast. So I realized okay, you always I mean that will make you like avoid the wrong things to do. So I guess when you just said it right now, yeah, it really like makes things what do you call it, a lot faster for you. They already did the wrong things for you, so you won't have to commit it. Yeah. So
That's true. But
mentorship
at
is
the
really
end, we
important.
all have to commit because I'm the youngest of 5, right? So I could say that about all my 4 older sisters. I've seen all the mistakes. And so from a very early age, I learned what not to do. Because I was like, well, my sisters already committed those mistakes, so I had to learn. But I'm also starting to learn that no matter how much mentorship you have to stumble yourself. And you're going to encounter your own downfalls and rises.
That's true.
And realizations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, corny yung wala. Siyempre, dapat meron pa din.
Yeah.
Diba? Parang, bakit naman puro perfect, diba? Dapat we lose sometimes.
What?
Sometimes
I'm not
lang.
perfect?
Sometimes lang.
Is this the delusional in me? It's not working.
The Lulu.
Yeah, but I
Delulu.
guess, it's nice to also hear that when I brought up the whole Delulu mindset, grounding is still very important.
I mean, I think that's the most important thing
And
for me.
keeping
Like, I think
grounded.
with,
Yeah.
you tend, because I think I've gone through that when I was young. Like, also without a mentor, no one will tell you, like, okay, you don't do this. Yeah, we have to be mature. You have to have high EQ, right? Those things are, I think, very important. When you're like, especially when you're getting success, like you're being more and more successful.
Yes.
It's hard to control that, right? When you're
Yeah.
young, like
Yeah.
all these things, all these
But
opportunities
they say
are
like
coming.
you become, you hear it a lot. You become big-headed or whatever.
Yeah.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like-
staying grounded,
yeah.
like staying humble, I think is really for me it's super important. It's the most important thing. You work and then hard work and humility. Those 2 things. Yeah.
Hard work, humility, customer service, consistency, experience. 5
Yeah.
key takeaways from Ollie
Yeah.
in this episode.
Yeah. And crazy enough, you really live up to your name. Like, and the
Thank you.
brand. You
Thank
know what I
you.
mean? So it's
Thank
like, we talk about, with my team, when we do culture sessions, it's like, your inside has to reflect inside and outside. Like you can't, as branding, you can't just look good on the outside, but not reflect those qualities on the inside.
Yeah. Consistency, right?
Yeah. So it's nice to
Really
see that
make
both of that
something.
aligns. And I think that's part of your success. So congratulations.
No, thank you. Well, thank you. I
Congratulations.
appreciate that. I
Yeah.
mean, if that's yeah.
Yeah. Whether or not you hear it a lot, I think it's still worthwhile saying. And to give yourself a pat on the back because
Thank you.
being in this now,
Yeah.
it's not an easy journey.
Thank you.
It's
Yes,
not, I'm sure it's not. Like being
Yeah.
patient for so many years and getting that really
Yeah, and
big
exactly.
break.
It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
But sometimes it
Yeah.
happens as quickly as like it's that one client,
Yeah.
or it's
Yes.
that one controversy or like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing your story
Thank
today.
you.
Is there
No, thank you
anything
so much.
else you
Thank
wanted
you,
to
thank
add?
No, I'm good. I know this is a like really good conversation. I love talking. If we have like probably 3 hours more, we could
I
have filled it up.
know,
But
there were so
but yeah,
many-
super
there's so
enjoyed it.
much.
I
Yeah.
think this is the
More.
longest
It is. It's been the longest. Yeah.
shoot.
Thank you,
Yeah.
so
Thank
much.
you,
Yes, enjoyed
Ollie.
it super. Yes,
Yeah.
anytime.
No,
Yes.
thank you
for
for-
giving me
Till next
the-
time.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah, definitely.
I dropped a lot of clickbait in that, guys. I sacrificed myself for clickbait. Get a clue?
A Thinkers Podcast.